Hello and welcome to Stretford Paddock. This is Paddock Transfers Live, Manchester United news, Erik Ten Hag. Everything's exciting. I'm joined by Alex Bagley. How are you?
I'm not too bad.
You feeling all right?
Doing all right.
It's good, isn't it?
It's been a good
It's
day.
an exciting night. I mean,
Very
Chelsea
exciting.
are currently getting battered by Real Madrid, which is also good to see. Manchester United seem to be on the cusp of appointing Erik Ten Hag as manager, and Jay isn't here to witness it.
No, he's not.
What's this all about then?
I don't know. You two can't get to... You're all with the staples on this show.
It's weird, that, isn't it?
Jay here, you there.
Last week I had COVID. This week Jay's got COVID.
And the week before you were on
your
jollies.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, you know what? We're going to have a better show than ever tonight.
Of course.
How exciting is that? We're going to be looking at Erik Ten Hag. We're going to be looking at Ruben Neves.
Ruben Neves.
Currently, he's looking like the Man United's next transfer. We'll be looking at some potential coaching options alongside Ten Hag. Let's be honest, it's the Ten Hag special.
The Ten Hag show.
If you came here looking for Ten Hag, you're going to get yourself some Ten Hag. We'll also be looking a little bit at Ronaldo. We'll be looking at a few more things as well. Get your thoughts in the comments. Get your thoughts in the comments. I'll say it again, because Ten Hag looks to be Man United's next manager.
It's exciting.
It's very exciting,
because,
isn't it?
Again, starting today, everyone was like, "Oh, do you know what? It's looking like it's going to happen." But there was still the Pochettino rumours. There was still that was in the balance. There was still this, in my head. I'd kind of gone, "Do you know what? Ten Hag, Ajax will probably finish their season a little bit earlier because they're probably going to win the league. They've got a cup in the next few weeks. It's probably going to be in the next few weeks. I thought it'd probably be end of April.
You don't have to worry about it for a while.
Don't have to worry about it. It's done until today.
Rob Dawson,
everything.
Mark Ogden in ESPN at 5 o'clock this afternoon saying Manchester United are set to finalise the appointment of Erik Ten Hag as the next club manager. Ten Hag, 52, was interviewed by Manchester United last month and has been on a four-man shortlist alongside Paris Saint-Germain's Mauricio Pochettino, Spain coach Luis Enrique, Sevilla's Julian Lopetegui, Chelsea's Thomas Tuchel and Bayern Munich's Julian Nagelsmann. Interesting that four-man shortlist includes 6 people.
That's good.
You know what? I'm assuming that's the only inaccuracy in this article. Sources in England and the Netherlands have told ESPN that United have settled on Ten Hag as their new manager, and the Ajax man is all ready to leave the Dutch champions to take charge at Old Trafford at the end of next season. So first of all, we saw ESPN do it.
Yeah.
They went for it. Then after that, we saw Howard Nurse of The Telegraph go for it. Then after that, we saw... who else did we see after that? Then after that, we saw Romano kind of not bring his own, information to the table, but agree with and confirm the Mark Ogden rumours. Then we saw Jason Burt of it as well from the Telegraph. Then we saw Howard Nurse, of the BBC, saying ETH then, which obviously BBC is very highly regarded, highly accurate. Then we saw Simon Stone of the BBC in the last hour saying that Manchester United close to appointing Ajax coach as new boss. I'm just going to read through this a little bit and then we'll open it up a little bit. Man United have edged closer to naming Erik Ten Hag as their new manager. Old Trafford officials continue to insist the process of appointing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, which is mad that he's the person we're replacing here, his permanent successor is not complete and that it's premature to say that a deal has been done. However, it is understood that Ten Hag is now the favoured candidate among senior figures at United. It was clear the choice had narrowed to Ten Hag or Pochettino. However, BBC Sport has been told it is felt that Ten Hag would be a better fit for the structure now in place at United, where John Murtough is the director, football director, Darren Fletcher is the technical director, and interim boss Ralph Rangnick is an advisor.
I'm breathed, Joe.
Everyone's saying it.
We are saying that, and also this is kind of how you see things happen with United, especially with transfers as well. One person will go with it. One person will get a couple of sources together and go with it, and then everyone just kind of, whether it's a brief or something, kind of all jumps on the back of it. It happened with Sancho. It's happened with all our big transfers, especially since I've been doing this. Yeah. You see this pattern, and usually it's right. When it happens like this, where every journalist, we saw the ESPN article and we kind of went, okay, give it a minute.
ESPN, it was like, we know that they're good journalists on there with sources, but they're not always right.
No.
And then Telegraph. And then Times, as you said.
That's it. Now the pile-on started. This is happening now. This looks to be happening, and I think it's more of like I said, the finalising things, the package to Ajax and all that. Probably when they can announce it. Ajax have got a cup final on the 17th of April, so they don't want to do it probably before then.
It says in this BBC article here, it says it is not thought that an official announcement is imminent, and with Ajax still in a battle with PSV Eindhoven for the Dutch title, it's possible United may delay even further out of respect for the Eredivisie giants, where former goalkeeper Edwin van der Sar is chief exec.
The only thing with the United kind of situation that might always confuses things is the stock exchange things. They can't keep things. They're not allowed to keep things a secret. Something that might get leaked out. So if they do, once the contract is agreed, once they've said Ten Hag is the man, and once it's on, some kind of paperwork signed, they have to release it. They can't kind of keep that quiet. So they're probably figuring out when's the best time in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Yeah. This can happen. If Ajax pull away, if they win that Dutch Cup in a couple of weeks' time, is now the time to do it. But it's going to happen very soon. Well,
talking about the Eredivisie at the moment, Ajax and PSV both played 28 games. Ajax on 69 points, PSV on 65. So they have got a 4-point buffer, which is the most it's been in certainly the last sort of month or so. It's been very close, like 1 point in it. Interestingly enough, I mean, I know goal difference and goals for and goals against doesn't equal points in and of itself, but they're 4 points in that, and up until last week it was 1 point. Ajax have scored 83 goals and conceded 14. PSV have scored 71, which is great, but still 12 less, and conceded 34. They've conceded 20 more goals. Ajax's goal difference is 32 goals better than PSV's, and yet there's only 4 goals in it. Those 14 goals Ajax have conceded have been incredibly crucial, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Ridiculous. But yeah, so very tight there. They've still got the cup in there as well. I don't expect it to be announced anytime soon, or certainly not in the next couple of days, but that doesn't mean that this deal isn't done. It looks as though it's done, doesn't it, to me?
Absolutely, it does look done. And it's exciting,
Yeah,
I think
what do you think to him?
My thing was, I think that there's been a lot of people saying it's between him and Poch. Poch, I think we've seen what we're going to get from Poch. I've not been, he's gone into PSG, and yes, he's got these amazing players, and maybe not the most balanced squad, trying to fit in Neymar, Mbappe, Messi. Isn't, it's a nice problem to have, but it isn't the easiest thing to do to make sure that they play.
It's not the most well-balanced team, even though it's maybe the most talented squad in the history of football. Yeah. It's not the most balanced.
But he's not excited. He's not made big decisions, and he's not gone, well, do you know what? He's going to have to sit out. We're not going to play him. They've not rested the likes of that. He's not done anything that's amazed me whilst he's been at PSG. And I think that we had Carl Anker on the Brew a couple of weeks ago, and he said, if we ended up with Poch, this was a decision that should have happened 5 years ago. Yeah. In the same way that Mourinho should have been maybe 5 years ago, and maybe Van Gaal should have been when Van Gaal got first linked to the United job. Yeah. It was another one of those
Van Gaal in 2012.
2012, it's we're always 5 years behind this. Yeah. Whereas the Ten Hag decision to me, look, there's no guarantees at Manchester United Football Club. We've been the worst set-up place for managers for a long time. But this one looks like the next big manager. It's the next one that was going to go on to a bigger club very soon. There was talk about him going to Tottenham and all that not too long ago. But he was going to take a next step. And I think United is a good step for him. And I'm hoping that it works out well. But as people always said, it now depends on the backing. It now depends on who he can get in, who the players, whether he gets the right players for him. And he just gets the players he wants and not the players that are ticking boxes kind of thing for sponsors and things like that. That's the next step with the new manager.
Yeah, it's interesting in it with Ten Hag. And he, like you said, he does have that undoubted excitement factor that Poch doesn't have. Pochettino is a bit more of a safe option, and like you mentioned there, he's kind of not yesterday's man because he's still managing at the top level, but he's not coming through anymore. No. He's an established. You kind of know what you're getting. He's been a manager for too long to have won as few trophies as he has. I know obviously Tottenham you're not guaranteed to win trophies, and he definitely improved them. But to me, seeing a manager that wins things and is successful, regardless of the level, is more impressive than someone that improves a team slightly. Like Chris Wilder did a great job at Sheffield United. You wouldn't have him at United just because he made them better and he got 2 promotions out of them. You need someone that's used to winning trophies, even if it is in the.
I think you look at it as well. Is it 2017 they played each other in the Champions League semi-final. That was the last really good Poch team, and even then, they were very poor in the league then. They'd gone past the point when they nearly won the league the year before. Yeah. They'd gone past that point. Ten Hag, that was a great team that he had. It got dismantled, and De Ligt went away, De Jong went Ziyech and even Donny van der Beek moved on. But he's built again, and you go, he's got another Ten Hag team. Yeah. Whereas Poch hasn't had that team for probably 5-6 years now. So, look, I think it's if it does go through and everything like that, I think it's the right decision. I'm excited to see what happens next.
Me too. Get your thoughts in the comments as well. What are your thoughts on Erik Ten Hag? Would he have been your choice? It seems as though he's going to be the next United manager. The key crucial question for me is, will he be given time? Yep. And Jay talks about this a lot, and it's a good point. Not that will he be given time by the ownership, will he be given time by the fans? Because we can sit here and we'll say we'll back him and that now we've got a real manager and X, Y, and Z. But when things tend to go wrong, I think United still give more time to the manager, the fans, than other clubs. But still, Jose got sacked. Louis got sacked. We won the FA Cup and he got sacked. Ole got sacked, and yes, we would completely falling apart, and it looked as though the players had given up. But we'd finished third and then second, and then as soon as there's a blip, you're gone. Like, that's my question. And it's Jay's question as well, and I'm sure it's the question we're all thinking: will he be backed and will he be given the time? Someone says, lads, go and watch the Champions League match. What's the score? 3-1 to Real Madrid.
That was a mad game.
That's the same score that it was before.
Amazing first half.
Yeah.
Benzema. We were talking about it then. Look at that Madrid team. Benzema came into Real Madrid when we lost Ronaldo. He was the one that was going to replace Ronaldo and be part of that United team. You've got Modric still doing it there that we were linked to so many times. You've got Cruz with the famous David Moyes as he'd signed him and Van Gaal said no.
Yeah.
That team still doing it now, all in the 30s, is an amazing team, and Chelsea look a bit ropey and haven't been the best.
Yeah. Kyle Chester, who's been a member for 7 months, says rival fans mocking our excitement. Like, those cockwombles have never got excited at a new manager, forever obsessed. Yeah, if you're having a go at a team for being excited because they've got a new manager or a new signing or a new anything, you've clearly either don't care or you've never, supported your own team, because it's exciting when there is a new manager. It's exciting when there's a new player, and that's what we're seeing at the minute, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's exciting that it looks like it's it seems like the right one for once. It seems like, and again, we were excited when Van Gaal came in, we were excited when Jose came in. We can't deny that. But then the Ole one was a bit weird because he came in as this interim and then kind of got given the job.
So good.
And then it wasn't as an excitement of, let's see what this guy can do. It was kind of, let's just ride this wave. Now it's bring someone in, let's see what he can do. And it will be a more exciting style of football than what Jose Mourinho brought in. We know that straight away. It is going to be more exciting than what Van Gaal has done.
And it is going to be more structured than what Ole did.
Of course,
Not necessarily, looking back, I sort of underestimated what Jose did at United in terms of, we actually got to see us win some trophies. They weren't the big trophies, but at least we saw it. Hopefully he can capture some of the best bits of each of them. Because you look at that defensive record, 14 goals conceded in 28 games.
Frightening.
Stunningly good. So if we can get anywhere like that with him at United, then, perfect. BMW Racing 1974, Joe's just broke out of Broadmoor. This is my good top, this. I know it looks a little bit, basketball in the courtyard sheet, but fucking hell, it's all right.
Smart, that. That's not the most ridiculous thing you've ever worn on.
Your top's good, though.
It is good. Coming very shortly to Stretford Paddock merch.
One of them.
Yes, they will be coming to paddockmerch.com very soon.
Very nice indeed. Broke out of Broadmoor, my arse. Unbelievable.
From the things you've worn on here to get to... Yeah.
Anyway,
moving swiftly on.
Let's move on swiftly, shall we? Should we have a little look at Adam McCullough?
Yeah, he's been doing that thing again.
He has. He's been doing a podcast
with his other mates.
What a dickhead. And actually, you know what? It gets even worse. We're about to hear a Liverpool fan's opinion on United this season. If you weren't bad enough watching it as a United fan, where you sit every week and you go, this is shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now we've got a Liverpool fan sticking the boot in.
Here we go.
Take it away.
Ronaldo's the biggest flop of the season because...
The disgrace.
No, but look, this is the problem with Man United, is they can't even recognise what he's done because he's scored goals and he is the top goal scorer. Too busy jumping around in the car park shouting Sue to realise that he's totally brought down Man United Football Club. One transfer trying to completely undermine everything. Lukaku's been rubbish, make no mistake about it. Of course he has, for his price tag and given how good he was at Inter Milan. But Chelsea are fine. Chelsea we'll just play Havertz, who's much better, and Chelsea is still competing for the Champions League, and they're still they've still got a chance of having trophies this season. Jack Grealish, same. He seems to be settling, but he's just a footballer at Manchester City.
Ronaldo,
fine.
It can't be Ronaldo, Paul.
But honestly, he can
18
because
goals. He scored 18 goals.
Congratulations, Cristiano Ronaldo, you 18 goals. You can say it's like that meme of the guy on the first place on the podium, and he's like, he's pouring the champagne all over himself, and the rest of his side are all crumbling to bits. Harry Maguire's getting booted in by his own fans on the bottom step.
That's because Harry Maguire's crap.
No, but also because
it can't be Cristiano Ronaldo.
Too many eyes. It is though, but it is.
You're going on though, like Man United was successful before he arrived. We weren't. It's not like he came into a team that were winning trophies and then we stopped winning trophies because he come in. And I also think a lot of the problem.
You had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as manager. The feel-good factor was back. You had all the pundits saying they were going to finish, above Liverpool this season. As an example, they were going to challenge this year, and Ronaldo was meant to be the thing that was like, oh, he's a no-brainer. He's going to add, so he's going to take this, he's going to elevate this. Look at what he brings. Look at what a hard worker he is. He's absolutely destroyed the mentality inside that football club, and he's disguised it with goals and shouting Sue. Brilliant.
We're back. We are back.
Interesting stuff, in it.
Even if you agree that Ronaldo has caused some kind of problems, you can't say he's been worse tthan Romelu Lukaku.
Romelu Lukaku doesn't even get fucking picked for Chelsea.
Yeah.
And he cost, 8 times more?
Yeah.
We got Ronaldo for like 12 million quid. Lukaku cost 100 million pounds.
I've seen a tweet before, Lukaku, Werner on the bench for Chelsea, £150 million worth of strikers, and they're playing the lad that should be on the right wing.
Yeah.
Havertz. I mean, it's mad.
I think you can say that Ronaldo he kind of comes in and highlights issues.
Yeah, of course he does.
But those issues were there before.
Yeah.
He's maybe shone a light on them with his excellence and his standards. But the fact that Harry Maguire's not the greatest leader is highlighted by Ronaldo, but it wasn't caused by Ronaldo.
No.
Anyway, if you want to see the full video, check out the link in the description after you've watched this video.
Yeah. And also make sure you say we sent you.
Yeah,
we sent you.
Go and
put in the comments.
We came from Paddock Live, you're talking shit.
Yeah, there you go.
Do you think Ronaldo works under Ten Hag? That's my question.
Look, a guy, if they've got... How many goals has Sebastian Haller scored this year?
I'm glad you've asked.
You've got it. I
Sebastian
knew you had
Haller,
that.
who could barely fucking, tuck his shorts in at Aston Villa or West Ham, wherever the fuck he was.
West Ham.
Yeah, some Clarion bastards. Has got 33 goals in 36 games this
Ridiculous.
season. That is sensational.
And people don't think that Cristiano Ronaldo's not going to score 20 goals next year with a new manager. No, it's ridiculous. I do think we need somebody else, and I think we need to start moving on from this. And with everything that's gone on, us down to one striker when we had 4 at the start of the season. With loaning one out, everything that's gone on, we're going to need another striker, and that needs to be. It depends on kind of what they end up doing with things, whether they kind of get a backup, they get someone that's a backup or something like that, or to kind of fill in with Ronaldo. Is it going to be someone like a Tammy Abraham that's not going to play every week?
Yeah.
Or are they going to gamble and try and get a Haaland, or even, I'd love to see Darwin Núñez after banging goals in last night again against Liverpool. I'd love to see something like that. But it's whether you go, right, here's our new number 1 and Ronaldo's the second string kind of striker, or is it Ronaldo's going to play every week, but when he needs a rest, we're going to have Tammy Abraham, or even like a Calvert-Lewin or something like that.
Isn't it? Because the top teams in Europe, it's not a case of they've all got a world-class number 9 anymore.
No.
Like, yes, you can still do well with one. Look at Lewandowski, look at Benzema, who, you could argue Benzema sort of takes his role up and down a little bit depending on his strike partner.
Yeah.
But you look at City, haven't had a sort of firing world-class number 9 in 3-4 years since Aguero was at his peak, and then they weren't really challenging in Europe. Liverpool, they've won the Premier League and the Champions League in the last 4 years. Their top strikers, wingers, every single year after year. Chelsea, exactly the same, won the Champions League last season without a proper number 9. Like, you don't necessarily need a Haaland, a Lewandowski, a Benzema to do really well. Even PSG. Yes, Mbappe scores loads of goals, but is he a 9? Is he a winger? It's not the same as it was 10, 15 years ago where you needed a Van Nistelrooy, an Henry, whoever, a Mario Gomez type of striker. You can do it with attacking wingers that get goals. Rashford get you 25, Sancho getting you 15, and Tammy Abraham getting you 20. That could be enough to win you some big trophies if you're defensively good. So, hopefully Ronaldo in that role could do it.
Look, I think they'll figure it out. I don't think there's... Again, we were chatting about it before. I think Ronaldo, like you said, has highlighted some issues, but he isn't the issue. It's not the main thing. And I think, like you said, it's highlighted that Maguire maybe isn't strong enough to be Manchester United captain and things like that. It's highlighted that some of these players aren't quite happy with the main man being Cristiano Ronaldo and someone, demanding things of people. And also it demanded that, well, we've got Ronaldo, we've got Varane, we've got Sancho. We have to win now. There's no excuses. You've got to start winning. Yeah. And maybe there's certain players in this squad that have took a step back this year because you've got to start winning on them now, and that's been the thing. But hopefully, new manager, everything changes. We'll get on with it.
Mid-Toker Maris, who's been member for 8 months, says, I want to be excited, but got more of a here we go again feeling. He is my preferred choice, though, so let's hope it works out. allow yourself to be a little bit excited.
Yeah.
Because the crushing disappointment will inevitably come. And when it does, then we can be disappointed. But at least be excited along the way. That's my motto.
Yeah, of course you've got to be excited.
You might as well be optimistic, because otherwise you're just always feeling shit. So be optimistic, be blindly hopeful, and when it goes wrong, you'll still feel shit, but at least you had some fun whilst it lasted.
Exactly.
Should we move on?
Yes.
Should we talk about Ruben Neves? This, reported originally in the unmentionable Red Top, but has since been sort of widely reported, so we'll have a little talk about it. Ruben Neves supposedly tops Ten Hag's priority list. He's been linked with United for about 4 managers worth now.
Yeah,
I think he was linked with us when Wolves were in the Championship and he was tearing it up, and we had Jose as manager.
Yeah,
he was
I
linked
think
with
so.
us. He was then linked under Ole. He was linked under Ralph Rangnick. He's now been supposedly touted as Ten Hag's top priority. Good player. Do you think he would work under Ten Hag?
I think so, yeah. I think that's the kind of player we're going to need in. I think midfield in general will be the big thing that anyone kind of highlights. I think that, the likes of, in the wide areas, you've got Rashford and you've got some depth in there. But in midfield, we're looking at it, especially in that deeper role. You've seen how Fred's kind of playing a little bit further forward and doing well. McTominay doesn't quite fit there and probably should just be back up or alternating with Fred. We've only really got Nemanja Matic, and you've seen him at the weekend. If there was a time for him to start a game, it was after an international break with 2 weeks off against Leicester. And he still didn't start. Yeah. So he's not going to play again in the next few seasons. He's going to be this bit part player. So midfield's going to be really important. Ruben Neves, we're going to be linked with Declan Rice. We're going to be linked with Bellingham. I think we need 2 or 3 this summer in midfield to kind of move on. I think 2 would be good. If we got a Ruben Neves and a Declan Rice, that would be a really good summer.
Yeah.
If you got a Ruben Neves and a Tchouaméni, you get 2 players in there to go alongside James Garner coming back in, alongside Fred, alongside Bruno. Hopefully a rejuvenated Donny van der Beek with with his old manager coming back. That might work out well. And I think that Ruben Neves is definitely going to be high up on that list.
Yeah, definitely. He's a good player, and he's
really
one of those
good.
players that he has got his weaknesses. Almost like Harry Maguire, where you look at him and you go, I know what you're brilliant at, and I also know what you're shit at. Like, Declan Rice was always a player for me until this season, where I thought, I don't really know what you're brilliant at, and I also don't know what you're shit at. He kind of lurks in the middle, where he can kind of do a bit of everything, but what's he world class at? I think we've seen that this season.
Yeah.
But Neves is brilliant on the ball, great vision, great positionally, slow as fuck, can't really run.
No.
I know they're the same thing, but you know what I mean. He's just immobile.
Yeah.
He's not. He's got a good engine on him, but he just can't get around. You think, is that going to work under Ten Hag's system? Maybe it will. Maybe someone that doesn't have all the legs. Look at Jorginho or Busquets in his later years, or at City like Fernandinho and these sorts of players who, as they get older, can't tear around the way they used to. But because the system is so high pressed, because the distance between the defenders and the strikers is so minimal, you don't need players that can run around. You need players that can break the lines and that can turn into space and can, do a little dummy pass to man. And he's really good at that. So I think that could work.
When we've got the likes of Fred, McTominay, there's going to be more work rate asked of our full-backs. You can have players like Ruben Neves. You look at Thiago Alcantara going into that Liverpool team. Yeah. He's not that high-pressing player. He kind of just does a similar kind of role. Doesn't need to do the running. You've got Jordan Henderson for that. You've got all these different things. So, look, I think that it can definitely fit in that system.
Vivek in the comments says, the talk here is like fantasy football, and it says Neves, Tielemans. Why not just get Zidane and Pirlo while we're at it? Neves and Tielemans are not Zidane and Pirlo.
And also,
they're exactly the sort of player United would actually end up buying.
They play for Wolves and Leicester.
No. Why not just get, I don't know, Di Stefano and fucking Stefan Effenberg while you're at it?
Wolves and Leicester. Come on now.
Yeah.
Like, United have fallen.
Yeah, but we can still bag a player off of Wolves. Surely. I'm not saying we will
not
get him,
that bad,
but
are we?
It's not Pirlo.
We don't need
certainly not Zidane.
We don't need to go, who's in the Championship? We can surely go to another Premier League team and go, like him.
Yeah. It's not like we're going, I don't even know, who's the best midfielder in the world.
It's not like we're going to get Tony Cruz.
Yeah, exactly. We can get him. I'm not saying we will, but I don't think it's absolute fantasy football.
And it's, again, the whole thing is that I think we've all mentioned that United need a few players, and this budget that's going to be put on him is going to be limited. It's always been that. There's not been a manager that's gone, there's 250 million, and we're not going to sell anybody.
You're probably going to get around 100 million net spend. That tends to be what it is.
Yeah.
And some of that might come off in wages in terms of Pogba, Lingard, Mata, Phil Jones, etc., Cavani. But if you want to get 50 million in, you're going to have to sell Donny, maybe someone like Maguire, maybe someone like
Martial. Hopefully, he gets some money.
Yeah, exactly. You might get 20 million for him, but I don't think it's going to be go by whoever you want. It will be 100 to 130 net spend, and anything on top of that, you have to sell.
And Ruben Neves would be in that price bracket of the 30-40.
Yeah, exactly.
Which means you can get a couple of players. Players at that.
Shall we move on then?
Let's move on.
Move on to our next story.
Yes.
I believe we're talking about Rene Mulensteen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think we are.
There's been a lot of intrigue around, obviously, the coaching staff that comes in with Ten Hag. Everyone's left, by the way. Do you remember, and I'm not accusing anyone of this specifically, obviously, but do you remember when Ollie got sacked? And then everyone went, well, it's not going to make a difference unless Carrick and, what's he called?
McKenna.
Kieran McKenna fuck off as well. They're the real problem. Well, they left and we didn't get any better. So what happened there, Alex? Maybe people were wrong about that.
What's the lad who's the goalkeeper? Who's the set-piece coach?
Oh, no,
Eric Ramsey.
Yeah, Eric Ramsey. He's the real problem.
He's there.
I think
Mike Phelan's still there.
Kieran McKenna's doing pretty well with Ipswich, as far as I'm aware.
not
How's
bad.
he doing? He's still doing all right?
Producer
apparently.
Callum is an
He's
Ipswich fan.
I don't know where we found him from, but he's an Ipswich fan.
But also, who else has done well? Carrick, even those few games he did, it was amazing.
And it's like, apparently they were the problem, but they're gone now, so they're going to need replacing. And it looks as though United are, I don't know if it's United or Ten Hag or both, it seems as though they want someone that is Dutch and has a United link. So Van Nistelrooy was one of them mentioned. He's now got the job at
PSV?
Somewhere like that. I don't think.
I think he's at PSV.
Somewhere. Anyway, he's just got a full-time manager's job. Rene Mulensteen is another one that's been mentioned. Van Persie was sort of mooted for a minute there as well.
There's the famous Dutch Steve McLaren. He was mentioned yesterday.
Yeah, well, they put the accent on and that's it.
That's it.
Well, how do you say Champions League? Arsenal are a very good team. If anyone hasn't seen that, by the way,
it's amazing.
Check out Steve McLaren doing a Dutch-English accent whilst he was the manager of FC20. It is unbelievable. The best bit is, because fair enough, maybe sometimes it's clear, obviously with Joey Barton, with him, at some point someone has said, if you put a bit of an accent on, it might help people understand you. That must have been said, because if this came out of their own brain, they are all over the place.
Remember the David Moyes one?
But the best bit is where he goes, how do you say Champions League?
Yep.
How do you say, like, English isn't his first language? He's not just putting an accent on to help people. He's pretending he's not English. How do you say? No, not how do you say. You know how to say. It's embarrassing.
Ridiculous.
I love it.
I like the David Moyes one when he did the whole thing at Sociedad. He was speaking in a normal accent.
Yeah.
Then he had to say Ieramendi in like the most strong Spanish.
He says it like something from a fucking advert.
Yeah.
Sorry, David. What the fuck just happened there? Are you all right?
But yeah, Rene Mulensteen.
Arsenal are a very good team in the Champions League.
Yeah.
Like he's thinking of the words in a second language.
Yeah.
That really puts me off and upsets me. He's been one of those managers that has sort of fallen upwards for a long time, hasn't he? He was fine at Middlesbrough. Somehow got the England job. Yeah. Did actually pretty well with FC20. Maybe his best spell. He won the league there with them, didn't he? And then has just sort of bounced around from Derby to other place to Derby again.
Yeah.
But, he's a decent assistant manager. Yeah. And Rene Mulensteen the next to have been mentioned. Yeah. In that same article talking about Ten Hag, according to ESPN, Mulensteen, who was first-team coach at Man United under Fergie between 2007 and 2013, is being considered as Ten Hag's assistant. Do you buy into this, we need someone that's done this before mentality, or is it a bit kind of harking back to the good old days and not looking forward?
Well, no, I think you do. I think it's great to have someone in there, but they have to be good at the job. They can't just be anyone. I think that was more confusing with likes of Robin van Persie, who hasn't really done much coaching, hasn't really done that. To go, do you want the assistant job at Manchester United? Because I'm Dutch, you're Dutch, this must work. Yeah. That seemed more confusing than Rene Mullenstein, who was Sir Alex Ferguson's assistant, who got praise for a lot of what we did, got praise for a lot of what Ronaldo did in the early days as well. he's one that I could see fitting. Now he's not done. He was at Fulham, wasn't he, for a bit as a head coach? And I think has he been the Australia head coach for a while or something like that?
The Socceroos.
Yeah, Socceroos.
Which is the most Australian word of all time, by the way.
So
they love either shortening a word or combining two words together, don't they?
Amazing at it.
Why they look meccas? I told you, didn't I? The Salvation Army over there. Salvation Army to me is old women like dangling bells, hitting a drum at like a village fete.
Right.
Not something to be shortened and mocked.
No.
On the actual sign, Salvos. Not even Salvation Army anymore.
Salvos,
mate. Absolutely love shortening a word. Socceroos.
So we're getting Rene Mullenstein all the way from Salvos to come over.
All the way from Socceroos, mate.
And look, I think that he's very, very good at what he did. He did a great job on the Sir Alex. Yeah. Whether he's still got it, he's not been the main guy. He's not been at United since 2013. It's been a long time now.
It's a long time.
So, he's not been at the top level for a long, long time. But I do think that the Man United job is the hardest job in the world.
Yeah.
Jose Mourinho had a full-on meltdown and was one of the biggest personalities, best coaches in the world at Manchester United. That doesn't normally happen. You've seen how David Moyes got, kind of treated and just kind of went the other way, went back into the shell.
He just fell
and
into
completely
a washing machine of media, didn't he?
Yeah, couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So to have someone go, this is going to be rough today when something's happened and he's got to go to a press conference or whatever, is the right thing to do. The thing is, he's got to get the right people around him in terms of coaching as well. That's the most important thing.
Well, you mentioned coaching. Can I just cut to this camera a second? This is Ajax assistant manager. When you think that
I've seen this today.
He's called Mitchell van der Gaag, by the way.
No, he's not. He's called Ten Hag.
Yeah.
The second.
Is it interesting that he looks exactly the fucking same as Erik Ten Hag? That is Ten Hag! Imagine just a little minions like Russian dolls all popping out of each other, one slightly smaller than the last, until the under-8s coach is just the size of an egg cup.
Considering how bad United have been.
Look at him! Get him in!
Would it be as mad?
It's just Ten Hag again! Get him in! Get Rene Mulensteen to shave his head. Steve McLaren, shave your head. They only to turn up looking like thumbs at the job interview. I'll shave my head for it.
No.
I look like Bill Bailey, I just shaved the middle.
Imagine if they've interviewed the wrong person. Manchester United Football Club. Someone else went to sign Ander Herrera.
Yeah.
It's not that amazing that they've gone there and gone, he'll do.
Yeah.
He's in an Ajax jumper.
He's great. Come and do a job interview.
Yeah, he's bald, that's the one.
Like when that guy went for a job interview and ended up on BBC News. You see his face like that? Absolutely shitting it. The best thing about that guy on BBC News, if anyone hasn't seen it, this guy who just went in for a job interview and ended up being on the couch being interviewed about something he was nothing to do with. He answered the question.
Yeah,
he didn't go, I'm not meant to be here. He went, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. I want to be a newsreader. And just went for it. So, I reckon that's what Mitchell van der Gaag, a.k.a. Erik Ten Hag Mark II has done. Edward Bamber with a super chat says, anyone want to bet that the board will keep hamstringing whoever comes in until the keyboard warriors suddenly go from the next coming of Jesus to out of his depth within 3 seasons like every other manager? I would think that could very well happen.
Yeah.
That, we struggle to work past the structure above him as a manager, and eventually his poor form leads the fans to basically saying this enough is enough, which tends to happen, doesn't it?
You've seen it happen with Ragnick, and when he kind of came in and all of a sudden he started with Freddie McTominay in a game and you're going, nothing's changed. Yeah. You're like, well, what else was he? He hasn't got any other players.
Just make a player out of someone's rib like God. And just get Zidane's rib and make a new one.
And this is the thing that a little bit of a worry is because he's not going to be able to buy 11 new players.
No.
He's not going to even be able to buy 6 in the summer. He's probably going to get 2 or 3. So there's a good chance Harry Maguire starts every game again next season. So the people that hate Maguire, he's going to play because he's our second best centre-half at least. So he's probably going to play. Yeah. And they're not going to buy another centre-half straight away. No. So these things are going to happen, but don't flip out about it. Maybe he will move him on, but it's going to take time. Yeah. And that's the whole thing, is that he may not like these players straight away. It's going to take some time.
But we've seen this team with confidence can beat the likes of PSG in PSG, can beat the likes of Juventus and City consistently, Chelsea consistently. This isn't a shit bunch of players.
No.
It seems like it is now because they're so, wallowing in self-pity and just way off the mark. But this team with 2 or 3 correct additions and some fucking confidence can easily be top 4 consistently and pushing for pretty much every trophy they're in. I don't think that's too far away. Maybe I'm being slightly optimistic there, but we've seen this isn't the worst team in the world. Philip Adams says, I'm already bald. Can I be assistant? Philip, you're hired. Make sure you keep that bald head, because otherwise we'll have to sack you. We just don't know who's who at this point. Let's move on then. Konrad Laimer.
Yes.
Sort of a box-to-box, can play slightly more defensively. We've heard this before. McTominay, Fred, etc. Plays for RB Leipzig and is in the Austrian squad. Good midfielder, leggy, full energy, box-to-box, like I said, up and down. You fancy him?
Yeah, I think these are the anyone.
Yeah.
This is the whole thing, is that we're going to get linked to all these players. Ideally, and again, my worry almost is that we sign someone like Declan Rice and they go, well, that's it, lads. That's all you're getting. Whereas a successful summer might be Laimer, Neves, and bringing James Garner back. And now you've got a completely new midfield there. You've still got Bruno Fernandes, you've got Donny van der Beek, and you've still got Fred and McTominay. And then you've got options in midfield. And I think that's the big thing for United, is that, and I'm hoping that the football people we've brought in now, the people that are above the manager and things like that, start seeing it that way instead of, let's just get the big new shiny. That's the one. That one, the big one.
Laimer there is Leipzig of the sort of Leipzig build and model. So that link there, like you said, is going to be Rangnick. Sorry.
Yes.
Bild is reporting it. Relatively reliable outlet. We are going to see everyone that's ever played for Ajax, everyone that's ever played for RBs, Leipzig, Salzburg, and whoever are going to be linked with United over the summer. But he does seem like a good player. And again, we'll have to keep an eye on it. But his contract runs out in 2023, so if we were to sign him, we'd probably get him for pretty cheap. I'm looking at under 30 million, which would obviously be a good money signing for anyone.
Absolutely.
Very good. Right, that's going to be all from us. Lovely show, Alex. Exciting show.
It's been really good.
Ten Hag looks to be the next Manchester United manager. What more can we say? Thank you very much for joining us. If you haven't already, check out the BetVictor podcast in the description with Adam McCullough. Loads of good stuff on there. Also, hit the subscribe button. Jay should be back next week.
Hopefully. I need Jay, but I need you two.
It's been a while,
together.
hasn't it? I know. I haven't seen
You
you
need
in a
to
long
see
time.
it together.
It's unbelievable, isn't it?
not
But
good.
thank you very much,
No
Alex,
problems, mate.
for joining us
Enjoyed
tonight.
that.
It's been very fun. That's lovely jumper, by the way, and very soon.
Very soon, Paddock.merch.com.
I want one. Get me one, please.
These are on Paddock.merch.com right
Mugs
now.
and that.
The mugs
All
and that.
sorts going on. Thank you very much for joining us. Hit like if you haven't already, and we'll see you in a bit.